I see some hands going up. Yeah. Planetary Farms is your local organic farm, and Dave's been running it for a couple of years. It's in Hillsborough here in Loudoun County, and we have an event coming up over there at the farm, and Dave's going to tell you about, I guess, a bunch of things that are going on with your organization. Is that working? I think that's working now. And I apologize for the purple here. It's supposed to be black. We are having some technical difficulty here with that right now, but you will be able to read everything. So that's good.
That's what matters.
Yeah, all right. Well, everybody, welcome Dave Mascatello from Planetary Farms.
Hey, everybody. Hope everyone's having an awesome time at the Loudoun VegFest. Yeah! This is going to keep building over time. More and more people. The vendors are really incredible. So happy to be here speaking for you guys. Anybody out there interested in growing their own food, or at least supporting local farmers, local growers, showing up to farms, making sure they're doing good, healthy, organic practices, and just basically supporting biodiversity on the planet in general? We have a bit of a crisis, and you could say. There's lots of plants and animals going extinct around the planet. We have to be aware of this and learn how to grow our own food again, take back our power, and just be able to connect with the land on a deeper level. So with me, it really means learning how to grow my own food, being connected with the land, and feeding myself, and moving toward food freedom, right? So anybody ever thought about food freedom, where you can go out and pick your own food and pick your own mushrooms and nuts and whatever else you got, eggs, whatever it is, not eggs, but you know, we're at a vegan event. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just living off the land. So I'm here to talk about fruits of the season, right? So there's many different types of fruits, and what you get in the grocery store is, you know, it's good. You know, if you go to Mom's Organic Market, even Wegmans has good berries over here. You know, you can get good organic produce at grocery stores. So I'm thankful for that. But let me tell you, you can take it a step further and a lot further by growing your own food. And I'm going to share with you a lot of different types of foods, fruits, and other varieties of things. So here we are, fruits of the season. All right, I talked about berries briefly, about Wegmans. They do have good berries, actually. But let me tell you, you can grow your own, and they're probably the easiest thing you can grow and the fastest. You'll get great harvests right away by planting berries in your gardens, right? So I'll go through all the varieties that I grow. First is silverberries. Silverberries are part of the Eleagnus family, and what they do is they fix nitrogen in the soil, and they're great for a chop and drop, feeding the mulch, feeding the plants, the soil, and building that with the nitrogen. And you get incredible berries, and they look beautiful, right? So silverberries, gummy berries are related to silverberries, right? These are some of the earliest fruits you're going to get in the season. Silverberries actually come out in like April, and then gummy berries are eaten in May. Yeah, they're very early fruits, and they're absolutely delicious. Gummy berries taste like gummy bears, I'm telling you. Absolutely fabulous fruits. You can just go out and pick them at different ripening stages, and it's just incredible. They'll hang on for weeks, if not months, and you'll have an endless food source. Honeyberries are kind of like blueberries crossed with a grape. That's what they kind of taste like, right? Honeyberries actually grow in honeysuckles, and they're fabulous. Strawberries, we've all heard of. We all eat pretty much, but there's a lot of varieties of strawberries. Some that just produce heavy amounts of strawberries in, say, May and June, or you could also get ever-bearing strawberries, which produce throughout the entire season, right? You have your classic red strawberries, but guess what? You got pine berries, which are white, that taste like pineapple. So we're talking strawberry, pineapple berries, purple wonder strawberries. They actually are purple and incredibly sweet. And you just can't beat it when you go out and pick fresh strawberries from your garden. So gooseberries are excellent. If you have a lot of shade in your area, you can plant gooseberries underneath your trees. You can plant them underneath pine trees. They really like it. And gooseberries are basically like grapes on a bush. And they're absolutely fabulous. There's different colors. There's purple, there's red, there's green. Gooseberries are just epic, you know what I mean? We got currants in the same family. People have heard of currants, especially in Europe. They're very popular, doing currant pies and jams and jellies and all kind of preserves. And you could do the same with any of these berries, right? So, you could have an endless supply of berries, even if you had just like a 20 by 20 little plot of land, all right? You could have tons of berries. Josta berries are gooseberries crossed with currants, right? So they're in the same family, and they're delicious. I love Josta berries. Goji berries, we've mostly heard of, right? You get them in the stores. Well, we can grow them here. We can grow goji berries here, and they're incredibly medicinal. And guess what? I walk out into my garden in December, I'm picking goji berries, right? Goji berries in December around Christmas, fresh, incredibly good for your eyesight, higher beta carotene than carrots, right? Goji berries are incredibly medicinal. They may not taste the best in the summertime when it's really hot, but as it cools down, the berries get sweeter, and you can also add lime to the soil to sweeten up the berries. It does work. Blueberries. So many varieties of blueberries you can grow here. Northern blueberries, the high bush blueberries, and you can have blueberries for, a couple months, like just tons of them. They do have certain requirements for growing, so that's important to know that they like acidic soil. So I'll use peat moss and pine bark and stuff like that to help build the soil, make it more acidic. But blueberries are excellent to grow. Aronia berries, even better if you're looking for health. Aronia berries are way, 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 way more beneficial in terms of antioxidants than blueberries, and even acai. We've all had the acai bowls and stuff like that. So, aronia berries, they'll hang on. You can have aronia berries for 3-4 months off your bush, and they'll just dry even on the bush. You can collect them and make teas and tinctures and different medicines with the aronia. In fact, I learned about aronia over at the Reston Farmers Market. There was somebody selling the aronia berry over there. It's really good. The thing is, it gets astringent if you don't, pick it late. It's got to ripen. So blackberries and raspberries, there's so many varieties. They grow very easy here. Elderberries, incredibly medicinal. I make, syrups and tinctures out of elderberries, and it's just great medicine. It's incredibly good for the immune system. I don't care what they say. I think it helps, defeat viruses. There was somebody saying some weird stuff about elderberries. It's probably misinformation. I think they're incredibly good. I will say the red elderberry is poisonous to eat fresh. So I don't grow the red elderberry. I just grow black and blue elderberries. So they're a wonderful one to grow. Very easy to grow. I grow the Adams American elderberry. We do sell plants, by the way, at Planetary Farms and Nursery. So we sell that elderberry. Chocolate berries, incredible. They taste like little balloons of like dark, bitter chocolate just exploding in your mouth. Just like incredible. So much flavor. All right. Well, I'll do my best to read this. Bush cherries. Bush cherries are excellent. They grow just as big bushes, and they don't get to like be this massive cherry tree with like disease issues. So if you want to grow cherries here and grow really good ones, bush cherries, right? Sweet cherries, yeah, you can grow cherry trees, absolutely here. And I cut my trees to be short and bushy and just basically be like big bushes with all my fruit trees, actually, in general. So pie cherries are more tart. We grow peaches, nectarines, apricots, all kinds of hybrids. right? So apriums, pluots, nectaplum, pluaries, picatum, necticot. They're all crosses, they're all hybrids. They're not genetically modified at all. They're just taking the pollen from one tree, putting it into another, and then taking the fruit and the seed from that, and then planting it, and you're gonna get a new variety. So they worked that out in California at Zager Genetics. I learned about it by Dave Wilson Nursery, who has something called Fruit Tube. So go on Fruit Tube if you want to grow fruit trees around here. Fruit Tube on YouTube. Excellent. We'll tell you how to just keep nice backyard orchard style fruit trees going good. You know, just keep them short and bushy, cut out the center, prune them, thin them, harvest. It's all good except for one little thing, and that's insects. So there are organic practices, and I'm not going to go into that, but we do all organic practices at my farm. You're welcome to come get a farm tour. We got a Plants to Table event next Sunday. This is at Planetary Farms. I'm working with Mike here with the VegFest. He's my partner for the event. A plantbaseddiet.org, Organic Land, Planetary Farms. We're doing a Plants to Table. So that is next Sunday. And you can see all these fruit trees if you come to the farm, right? We're giving tours. So we'll teach you how to grow your own food, or at least learn about the food so you know where it's coming from and you know how it's being taken care of, and you can have a better connection with the food, right? So even if you don't grow your own food, you can bless your own food. And we're going to talk about blessing your own food at the event here. We're doing a food blessing ceremony as we serve up the main entree, which is going to be a butternut squash pumpkin coconut stew, all from the garden and from our friend's farm down in Florida. All right, so we'll move on. That's the stone fruits. Pome fruits, right? We got our apples, pears, pear hybrids, hawthorns, medlar. Yeah, there's a lot of good apples that you can grow here that are disease resistant. This one in the background is called Williams Pride. There's some great nurseries out there. Going to Rain Tree Nursery, One Green World. There's Burnt Ridge Nursery. And Edible Landscaping, actually, is a local one down in Charlottesville. They sell incredible apples. I bought the King David apple there, planted it. I got my first apple off that tree this year, and it was absolutely fabulous. And just year after year, as those silver berries and like the nitrogen fixers and all the things we have growing around the apple trees where we do chop and drop and build the soil, we're gonna get lots more apples in the future. As the trees get healthier and the soil builds, and year after year after year, you just get better yields, better quality. And that's with growing the food forest method, right? So if you look on my shirt, it says food forest. You guys can grow a food forest if you'd like. If you have land, all you gotta do is build up the soil, getting organic material, whether it's mulch, wood chips, sticks, hay, straw, newspaper, cardboard, whatever you got, you can put it on your grass. Because guess what? We don't have to be grass holes anymore, right? We don't have to have that big lawn and be like the rich people that said, oh, we don't need to grow food anymore. You know what I mean? Well, guess what? We don't have to grow food anymore because we can go to the grocery store, and that's okay. But if somebody has the means, the time, the energy, the money, the resources to grow their own food, I will highly encourage it. And if you don't, I totally understand. I did not for many years, you know. I was renting a place and I didn't have space, but I started stuff on my little deck, you know, things in pots, right? Little herbs and tomatoes and peppers, and you know, that stuff makes a big difference to have. Go pick your basil and make your own pesto and just have your own like stuff that you like put your love into, your love and your intention and your awareness into. So yeah, there's lots of different apples, pears, hybrids, and I'll tell you one thing too. I could go into varieties of fruits all day. You know, we have about 700 varieties of perennial fruit trees, vegetables, herbs, flowers, nut trees, mushrooms. all these things, right? But community probably is at the top of it all. You know, to have people that really are enthusiastic about this way of life, that share our own values, people with goals and dreams and ambitions that synergize with what we're doing, and to have it all flow together in a beautiful synchronicity. Because this world needs help, you know, it needs people like you out there that are plant-based, that are eating mostly plants in their diet. It's extremely important. You know, we don't have the resources anymore to support the way industrial agriculture and, you know, all the things are right now. We should be bringing it back home to local farms. Figs. Who loves figs out there, right? Who wants to get figgy with it, right? Figs are fabulous, and they're my favorite, I would say, fruit. But guess what? Figs are a flower. Figs are an inverted flower, right? Durian is actually my favorite fruit of all time. I've been to Borneo. I went for 2 weeks. Had the best durian in the world. Best fruit in the world, in my opinion. Best I've ever had, at least. But figs, they top them all when it comes to what I can grow at home. They're my favorite thing that I grow to consume. So I got Hardy Chicago, Olympian, Pastelieri, LSU varieties. These are from, you know, Louisiana State University. Incredible varieties. The Col de Dame varieties are like French figs that taste like cake. So they're very cakey in their texture. You know, there's different types of figs. You get your complex berry figs, which is the black Madeira you can see over here. That's the king of figs. That's my favorite fig. And then you get like these honey figs, like the Golden Riverside, the long yellow, the yellow long neck. They're filled with like pools of honey, just like totally filled with these pools of honey. And it's just incredible. I mean, you're picking these plump figs, and we call them plumpers, actually, right? So you'll have to be on plumper patrol if you're gonna grow figs. We sell figs, by the way, at Planetary Farms. Welcome to contact me, get your fig trees, and I'll tell you how to grow them. Incredibly easy with just a few tips. But yeah, you gotta be on plumper patrol when you're growing figs. If you're not, the hornets will get to them. So plumpers, then they turn into droopers. And when they're super droopers, and they're just drooping and they're ready, you pick them and they're incredibly delicious. And they're the best food you can probably eat, because they're probably the most alkaline food on the planet, is figs. You know, 60% of a lot of primates' diets are figs, right? So if the other animals are eating mostly figs in nature, shouldn't we be doing that? I think so. So get yourself a fig tree if you got space. All right, nuts. So nuts are probably the first thing you want to plant if you are growing out a permaculture style food forest, right? Nut trees, incredibly important because of the fat content and the calories, and they take years to grow. So you want to get them in the ground first. You want to get your walnut trees in the ground first. They take like maybe 10 years to really get going. Hazelnuts are sooner, right? So hazelnuts are way easier to grow, probably a yield faster than, say, walnuts. But you do have to protect them from deer, you know, if you're in a field. I'm working on that still. I mean, I got to figure that out a little bit more. But I use chicken wire, fencing, whatever you can do. There are protectors, tree guards that you can put around the trees that do actually help a lot. But we have our own sheep that are like eating the nut trees, you know. How can you blame them, you know? And how can you blame all the creatures that want to eat your stuff? And that's an incredible lesson to learn in the garden, you know. Share with everything. Share with the rabbits and the squirrels. And we have guinea hens, we have sheep, we have chickens, and we have ducks. And the animals, including ourselves, are part of the food forest. It's an incredible lesson to learn. But yeah, we're planting out chestnuts, hazelnuts, pecans, hickory nuts, walnuts, and pine nuts. And we're right up the road here. You can plant all these here. Mushrooms. So who doesn't like a good, mushroom dish, right? Shiitakes or oyster mushrooms or, whatever. Mushrooms are incredible. They just grow beautifully if you just do them right. And we're learning, right? We're doing them on logs, and we get oysters and shiitake, but mostly we forage our own mushrooms, right? I mean, I forage on my own property. Literally, the chicken of the woods grows in my backyard. It's come to me twice this year, and it's just beautiful. I'd love to go up on the mountain and collect chicken of the woods too. I still have yet to do that this year. I've been so busy, but chicken of the woods is absolutely delicious. It just literally tastes like chicken, right? So we're at a plant-based event. Try chicken of the woods. You can grill it, you can saute it, you can bake it with, and I know I don't usually do oil. I mostly do not cook with oil, but with chicken of the woods, I do like to put some oil on it and bake it, and it comes out like crispy chicken. So we make chicken tacos or chicken soup or whatever, Let's just start calling chicken of the woods, the chicken that we all eat. There's enough to go around. It's growing everywhere. People are finding it everywhere. All right, so chicken of the woods is delicious. The other edible ones, oysters. There's different ones. Your pearl oysters, your whites, your blues, your yellows. Oysters are very good. Yeah, I gotta avoid some of those vegan restaurants down south. I'll go to a vegan restaurant and I'll get the oyster mushroom like calamari. It's fried and it tastes just like calamari, like a sandwich. But man, I shouldn't do that deep fried stuff anymore. Mike came with me out in Florida. He's always encouraging me, dude, just go to the grocery store, let's cook. And I'm grateful that he was there in Florida with me as we did cook. We did go to some places and eat, but it felt fairly balanced when I was with Mike. When I was on my own, I was screwed. I was going through Miami, just eating all the unhealthy restaurants, I'm grateful for Green Fair, Let's give it up for Green Fair, everybody, Seriously, they changed my life. I took their courses. I went and I did their meal plans, and I lost a bunch of weight, and I got on a good path. I learned how to cook without oil, which is incredibly important. Restaurants, you have to use oil to preserve things. I don't blame them, but when you're at home cooking, you don't have to cook with oil. So we got reishi and chaga, which I'd love to talk about a little bit. So reishi is the queen of medicinal mushrooms. It has been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years, right? So people live to be 120, 130 years old taking reishi. And that is the only herb besides chaga that I take every single day, right? Reishi and chaga are the queen and king of medicinal mushrooms. They are antiviral. They work on all the major organs in the body. The liver, the kidney, the heart, especially the reishi, works on the heart. It's heart medicine. And it's skin medicine. The reishi makes you glow. It's a spiritual thing too. When I went and I harvest reishi on the summer solstice, it comes wild. It's just out there in the Shenandoah. It's there, The chaga too. The chaga is out there, and it's glorious. And it tastes incredible. I take chaga in tea form most days. I have it in a crock pot. I'll throw the chaga in there. It goes for weeks on end. Chaga is incredible. I sell chaga and reishi tinctures. If you're interested, I take it every day. So, turkey tail. Turkey tail is one that you can find close by. I find it in my backyard, right? turkey tail can cure cancer, apparently, from what I've heard from Paul Stamets, who is a mushroom man himself. Look into Paul Stamets, he cured his mom's cancer, his mom's breast cancer, from taking turkey tail. But the story is, his mom didn't want to ask the son for help because I don't know what it is with family. You ever get that with family? It's like they don't want to listen to you. You tell them what you're taking and what works, and they don't want to listen to you. But then when a doctor says something, yeah, okay. So anyway, Paul Stamets' mom heard from a friend, or a doctor actually, to take turkey tail. And she was like, oh, my son sells that. So that's how that works sometimes. But you know what? All we can do is work on ourselves, you know. It's extremely important to work on ourselves and be comfortable with where we are at in our health journey and just shine our light on the planet, right? We don't have to tell people they're wrong or they're doing things. Hey, you enjoy a good steak? That's up to you. You know what I mean? If that brings love and joy into your day, that's okay. I'm into plant-based because it works for me, you know? I'm into plants because that's my life, that's my livelihood, that's where my heart is. And I'm with the animals, you know? I'm with the animals just as much as the plants, you know? It's more about the planet, you know? It's more about Pachamama, you know? It's more about connecting with Spirit, God, Lord, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna. Doesn't matter. It's all one. So when we connect with nature and creation and we tap into the timeless, we can see what we can manifest. Just like this Plants to Table event that me and Mike manifested. It's going to be absolutely incredible. 1 week from today, Plants to Table event, Planetary Farms, supporting organic land, supporting a plant-based diet.org, and supporting a lot of other organizations, businesses, people's ambitions and dreams in helping the planet. Ultimately, we are connected with the planet, right? We are one with the planet, so we can't be destroying the planet anymore. When I went to Borneo and I flew over the jungles and I saw the destruction happening in one of the most biodiverse places on the planet, it's heartbreaking. And you know why they're destroying it? Because people are buying processed foods. People are buying processed foods and people are selling those processed foods. We're talking about palm oil. We're talking about acres and acres, hundreds and thousands and millions of acres of palm oil, monocrops that need to be stopped. We need to take those crops and plant other trees around them. And that's what we're doing down in a coconut farm in Florida. And you guys are supporting this by going to our event because we're bringing up at least 100 coconuts from Florida. This coconut farm in Pine Island, Florida is 44 acres of coconuts and palm trees. And we're planting trees of all kinds now. Jackfruit, right? Mangoes, right? Chocolate sapote and egg fruit, soursop and sapodilla and mame sapote, and pineapples and ginger and turmeric. So come to our Plants to Table event. It's going to sell out. Get your ticket today, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much for letting me speak and listening and being here and doing a service to yourself and to the planet. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dave. Yep. All right.